The World Cup's on right now. We're going to rank all the current England squad members into 5 different tiers. Let's get stuck into it. I think just to start us off, if there's any world-class players, chuck them straight in. I think ones that we can probably both agree on, no disputes. Yeah. It's probably going to save time. I think there's 25 blokes we've got to get through here. So yeah. Harry Kane, I think, is definitely up there. Yeah, I think he's getting into any team. Bung him in there. Second one, I would have to say Phil Foden.
Phil Foden as world class?
Yep, I think world class.
Could get into anything?
Yeah, I think so. I think in that Man City squad, that is just unreal. He's had a great season.
Bit of a controversial one potentially, but Trent Alexander-Arnold. If we go a quick definition of world class being like could get into any 11 in the world, or if you're picking a world 11, he's in with a shout. Obviously, depending on which side of the fence you sit on with him, he's either one of the best right backs to ever play the game, or he's one of the worst right backs to ever play the game.
Yeah, it's real controversial. I think it's so funny. Like a lot of people would say squad filler right at the bottom, and other people are going to say world class. It's going to be hard to put him anywhere. Maybe the fact you've brought him up, I'd put him as elite. I think there's definitely areas in his own game he probably needs to improve that we can admit. But you know what he does have already is at a world class level. He's just not the finished player yet.
Yeah, okay. It is interesting as well with him. You know, he's won every trophy there is in the game.
I think if there's just like some flaws in his game, and already, you know, if he was at Chelsea and there is a Reece James there, he's at Newcastle with Trippier there.
No, I'm happy for him to go on elite.
Yeah, chuck him in elite just because he's come up.
And he does have a few things he could work on as well, I think.
Do the goalkeepers last, I would say, because I don't want them kind of setting the tone for this. Just to clarify, we've got world class for obviously the best players, elite for obviously those elite players. Actually, I don't need to explain all these. Decent, average, and then, you know, right at the bottom we've got squad filler, who maybe some players are probably going and we're probably not expecting them to get many minutes, or due to a lack of depth in some positions, some players might have got a call up.
But this is also a bit of our take on these as well. I don't think this is necessarily, hey, these are the players that Gareth thinks. This is you and I.
This is our opinion, yeah. Let's keep it cracking. Let's probably go in order then, but not with the keepers. We'll probably got them from start to finish as you've got them there.
Cool, so jumping in at Connor Cody. This one for me, I'd probably go like average. He is probably in the squad because he's an incredible person. And obviously he was the captain at Wolves. Just that perfect character you want in and around the team. So you can see he could potentially be a squad filler for England, but I think he's just a bit above that and he is a bit of an average player.
Yeah, I think his move to Everton, pretty high profile, and I think he has solidified their defence a bit better, so yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, let's get him in there for average. Big mate Harry Maguire, slab
This is a controversial one. I think, you know, this season he has been really poor when he's played.
For United.
Whenever he plays for England, he tends to do a lot better. I don't know whether it's the system, whether it's a lot less pressure. Because this is a video about England players, I'm going to remove the United side and I'm going to look at it with just an England perspective.
Interesting though, because we didn't do that for Trent. Because if you look at that from England perspective, for Trent, he rarely ever plays.
Yeah, no, good point. Okay, well, let's look at him as overall.
He's good enough to be the captain of United. And, you know, there's something in there that Ollie saw and signed him to make him then captain. And Ten Hag has kept him around, obviously didn't sell him or whatever, still the captain. He maybe does get tarnished with a bit of a bad brush because he's not the best, but I don't think he's terrible. Like at both Hull and Leicester, he was doing well. He had some very good games for England, like in those Euros World Cup. Yeah. So I don't think he's as terrible, and it is an easy one to just be like, he's horrendous. Yeah. We've all seen the reels and the memes. Yeah. So for me, he's on the cusp of that, like decent average. I'm happy to go with average. So.
Actually, chuck him in decent, to be fair, because, you know, you think about any time he does play for England, he does show his quality. I think the price tag and the pressures and a lot of things that's been going on lately with him. He's an easy target. You know, they're playing at United where he's under the microscope. But when he comes in for England, he does do a good job in defence, and they are kind of relying on him very much.
Moving on to Luke Shaw. Interesting one because, you know, when he was at Southampton, he was hyped up as this next big thing. He's had a very indifferent United form, like him under Jose Mourinho. Like I think Jose Mourinho hated him, but then under other people, they really do hype him. Like I've got a few friends that think he's the bee's knees. For England, he always seems to play. It's a bit of a tricky one.
Yeah, I'd say I'd go again decent.
Yeah, happy with that.
Yeah.
John Stones, difficult one again because he's probably England's best player on the ball.
I think, and in that, like he's always played for City, but they've just probably got maybe one or two slightly better than him that I think Pep prefers, but he's definitely found a bit of form over the last season or two. Yeah, definitely the best on the ball. I'd say elite, really.
Yeah, I think he is an elite defender. Yeah. He's not quite at that next level, but he's in that top bracket of like, you definitely have him in your team. Yeah. We've got Kieran Trippier.
I think decent. I think his move from Atletico to Newcastle was kind of like, oh yeah, this guy's great, but it's not as big as if it was a signing of a Trent or someone like that, like a huge name.
Kyle Walker.
This
is a tricky one.
I'd say elite for him.
Could potentially be world class though. Like if you think about that right back spot, super quick, you're not really going to beat him too many times. Maybe doesn't offer the most of all the fullbacks we've come to know going forward, but defensively, you're going to...
Yeah, I wouldn't say world class because I think there's definitely areas of his game he's lacking. I think he's so rapid, but...
Covers a lot.
Yeah, and I think his pace gets him out of trouble a lot of the times. He reminds me of what I said for Trent, where he's got so much quality and abundance, but maybe just lacking a few things that kind of I would keep him away from the world class category.
Yeah, okay. Ben White?
I'd say average. I think he's got maybe a bit to prove. He's had a great season at Arsenal so far.
Yeah, doing well.
They're playing him at right back these days, so he's kind of showing a bit of versatility, but learning a lot of positions.
I'm also, there's just something about Ben White that I don't like because he's very vocal about, I don't like football, I don't watch football. It's almost like I'm being cool, or it's not cool to like football, and like I've got more going on in my life than football.
Yeah.
It's okay to like football. I
don't really get that.
So maybe there is a little bit of a bias, but I think, definitely showing great signs and a good player, but got a fair way to go. Cool, Jude Bellingham.
Wow, I really like Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, 19 years of age.
Yeah.
Scored England's first goal in the group stage as well.
Big rumours around where he's going to be at next season.
Yeah, would love it to be at Liverpool. Likely or not, don't think so.
For me, already at his age, I'd put him as elite. I think.
Really? I was potential world class. Like if you think about the teams that are going to be after him, it's only going to be Liverpool, Madrid, Chelsea, City, maybe even United going in there.
Yeah, I think his next move is already to the top.
To the top.
Yeah.
And that already puts
world
him,
class. Yeah, he's, I think, guaranteed to be, England's midfield now for the next 10, 15 years.
We've got Conor Gallagher. Feels a bit harsh.
It feels
I feel like we're going somewhere with this.
I'm going squad filler for this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's young as well. He had his loan move to Palace where he, kind of burst onto the scene a bit there, and Chelsea have kept him around this season. He's got the call up for play to him, but I'm not really expecting him to get many minutes. I think in that midfield there's probably already a lot more quality and other players you'd go for ahead of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, easy. Jordan Henderson, potentially a controversial pick for a lot of people because, again, this one pretty much seems anyone outside of Liverpool has just gone straight to squad filler or average. But he's a player where every England squad, all the managers he plays under really like him. You hear from all the other professional players and they all love him. They also how important he is to have in and around the squad, to have on the field. So many Liverpool players see him as the point of reference. During the COVID seasons, you could actually hear how much he was talking, just be shouting all the time. Again, another person who's lifted every trophy in the game. Probably similar to Harry Maguire, to jump on Henderson's terrible, this, that and the other. But he's a good player. For me, I'm putting him in decent.
Yeah, I'll put him in decent. There's definitely times where people will mock him, say, he just runs around, he's got no talent, but I know as a Liverpool fan watching games where he doesn't play, sometimes we might be missing something where we just need that guy who's going to keep the team ticking. We're not going to put him on and expect him to score a goal or create a goal, but he just helps the team overall and just commands it, and he's a leader, and he's got a lot of other qualities like that people might overlook.
Mason Mount? Difficult one, because when he was young, I used to think this guy really could have potential. As time's gone on, my opinion's kind of decreasing a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's done a lot of great, skillful things. A guy who's like on a free kick and has scored some great goals. Again, he's won the Champions League. Is quite young. For me, I feel he's just a bit overrated at times. Like when Liverpool played Chelsea twice in 2 finals last year, and he kind of seemed like a bit quiet in the game.
I mean, for the first couple of games for England as well, hasn't exactly set the world alight.
No, I'm thinking between decent and average for this guy.
Yeah, I'm happy to put him in average.
Yeah.
I think Mason Mount has plenty of potential
Still
to
young,
grow.
yeah.
Still young. You got Calvin Phillips.
I'll put it back on you for this guy.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, it's a difficult one because Leeds very good. I watched him at the Euros and I thought, wow, like this is some player here, young, up and coming. We'd heard of him, but we hadn't seen a lot of him. And I was like, yeah, England have got a player here. Made his move to City and hasn't really played, I think it's fair to say.
He's got injuries and stuff he's been battling.
My gut says like decent. Recency bias is putting me towards average.
I'm the same. I think he had a great Euros, him and Declan Rice were kind of like that partnership, just holding that midfield together. But just from a lack of game time this season, and he's kind of felt like, even last season, he had a lot of injuries as well, didn't get much game time. He kind of feels like he's been falling off the grid, which is unfortunate, but at this moment in time, I'd probably put him in average as well.
Next up, we've got Declan Rice.
This guy's towards the top, I think. There was huge hype around him when David Moyes was talking about his price tag, but I think he definitely is. He's a great player, makes the team tick, can get forward, got a lot of energy. I'm thinking elite for this.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I think he displays a lot of confidence on the ball. He's always happy to receive it kind of in any position, and that's something I always appreciate from a player. Yeah. From there, James Maddison was one that was like, really won't he?
I'm thinking decent for this guy. I think he's still fairly young, has a lot to improve. I'm not sure how much time he'll get, but he's an exciting player to watch.
Yeah, definitely. Again, super creative on the ball. Playing at Leicester would be interesting to see how he went at that sort of next tier club. Callum Wilson?
I think decent. I think he's done well at Newcastle this season, especially given how well they're doing. He's getting a lot of goals. He's getting a bit more service into him now. And he's done well to get into the England team.
Okay, controversial figure, Jack Grealish. Kind of love him or hate him sort of vibes.
Yeah. Isn't it? You know, when he's at Villa, you'd be like, this guy is incredible. Same with Harry Maguire, you know, big money move, 100 million to City. Now all of a sudden, I think the expectation's so high because of that then any kind of performance lower than a 100 million performance, you're now like, oh, this guy's no good. But there's no surprises in and around the England squad. He's great on the ball.
He's the sort of player that would get you to the edge of your seat. And
he's exciting.
Could do anything at any moment. I think that one's always thrown around like, was his transfer to City a success or not? I think ultimately it has to be a success because he won the league, right? I want to put him in elite. Anytime he gets on the ball, he is that player. He could do anything.
It felt like that, and when he was at Villa, it felt like they were just desperate to get the ball to him, and he was going to carry them and get them the goal, or create a goal. He was the go-to guy. But when he's been put in a team of City players, which, you know, at a minimal, they're probably all elite, except for the fact we put Calvin Phillips in average. I think he's not really stood out there. You'd think he's probably below the standard of a Bernardo Silva, a Foden.
Yeah. So with room to progress, let's put him in.
Yeah, I think decent. Yeah.
Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, well, he's kind of fallen off a bit of a cliff. I remember as a young player, he was like the next big thing. He kept scoring on his debut for England. Like he was just like smashing goals. But then kind of felt like he fell off, and there wasn't really a position for him at United. And he was kind of a squad player, being moved up front, out in the wing, left side, right side. He's kind of maybe coming good. It's going to be interesting to see what the season does for him at United with a new manager. You know, Ronaldo's now left, so he'll probably get a lot more game time up top. I'm thinking decent.
Okay, I was going to go average because I just think he's fallen off a bit of a cliff. Obviously, this season he's had a bit of rejuvenation, but I just don't see anything long term from this player.
Okay.
You know, he does a lot of amazing work outside of football, and I think he does deserve credit, and it should be mentioned around that. So, like, obviously, well done, Marcus Rashford, like doing things that not many other players on this list are doing at all. Maybe Jordan Henderson as well, but I don't think, you know, when we're talking about purely football, he's really done anything to ever get above that average sort of.
I'm talking about average. I just think, I would say the past 2 seasons he's probably been average, but just of late there's been like a bit of a spark there, which I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm happy for you to put him back into average. He's someone who could easily move up, and definitely as a young kid, you know, you're looking at like elite.
Yeah. Saka.
I really like Saka.
Hey, he is another one. He is so likable.
Yeah, I think the personality, missing that penalty, you feel so bad for him.
Yeah, watching that from the documentary as well.
Yeah,
you do
very
kind of
relatable.
take shame. For me, gut feeling straight away into elite.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think he's an exciting guy to watch. Rapid, skillful, scores goals. Already at Arsenal as such a young guy, he's already kind of like this, feels like a senior figure.
We got Raheem Sterling.
I think maybe 2-3 seasons ago I would have said world class, but I'm leaning more towards elite now.
Yeah,
I think
I'm happy to put him in.
Stint at Chelsea has been a bit slow.
Yeah, I think there are a few things around that, like Chelsea are in a bit of a transition period.
Yeah.
Changed their manager.
Yeah.
He's also changed positions a lot this season. He's played at wing back at one stage there,
and he was playing up top on his own as well for a few games.
So I think there are sort of factors around maybe that dip in form, but nonetheless it is a dip in form, and I agree that, you know, another occasion he may have been in that world class bracket. But he, is definitely in the elite. No further below. I guess then of the outfield players to finish things off, we're looking at Eric Dyer. In this instance, however, the program that we were using didn't have him, so we're going to use Ivan Toney. To represent him. Maybe hedging his bets on going to the World Cup squad, didn't quite make it.
Wait, so are we placing Ivan Toney, or we're pretending he's Eric Dyer?
We're pretending he's Eric Dyer.
I'd go average for Eric Dyer. I think he's had a great season this season. You know, just to confirm that man in the Brentford shirt, that's Eric Dyer.
This guy over here.
You know, for his whole career, he's been solid and he's been good. But
does speak Portuguese.
He's fluent in Portuguese, which is very impressive. He's probably one of the few England players that can speak any other language, if not the only one. unless you count Connor Cody speaking Scouse as another language. But yeah, I don't think he's setting the world alight at any stage.
Finally, finishing off with the goalkeepers, Jordan Pickford.
He's a tough one because he will make the most unreal save that you just think, wow, I don't think many other keepers in the world would have made that save. And then he's got some absolute howlers in him.
Yeah, I just think he's this guy that's always spoken about with amazing distribution and he can kick the ball so far and all the rest of it. And anytime I watch Everton and England play, he's just kicking the ball out. So it's like, it is great if you can kick it far, but it doesn't matter if it's to the other goalkeeper.
Yeah, like I said, I think his best attributes are his save making. And
there's a goalkeeper, that's interesting.
No, but like, you know.
Yes,
those,
no, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
He can pull off this miraculous. I think even in the derby, wasn't it? Like he pulled a few saves.
Yeah.
Which you're like, what?
Yeah, and towards the end of last season as well, when they were fighting to stay up, he definitely, was almost like their man of the match the last few games.
Yeah, I think it's worth saying any time that we bring him up of just mentioning Alisson Becker
to
the drop. It just has to. We've got to throw that in there. Like has to be mentioned.
He kind of feels like the undisputed England number one.
Yeah, which I probably disagree with, but again, that might be my own biases coming through there. All things said and done, we're going to have to probably be fair and say decent.
I was going to say...
I would want to put him in average.
Generously, I'll put him in decent. He's got moments in him that are just insane, but then as a whole, I don't think he's not impressing me too much.
Pope?
I think decent. I think he's moved to Newcastle, done well there. I think he's got the most clean sheets right now, I think.
He's definitely a good keeper.
Yeah, his defence is solidified. I mean, prior to that at Burnley, he's had a lot of experience facing plenty of shots there. Yeah, maybe in future he might be up there. I mean, the England spot over the last year, I think has gone from undisputedly Pickford to now it's kind of a bit more of a debate.
And then finishing off that goalkeeper debate then with Ramsdale.
I think he's maybe slightly ahead of the other two.
In not getting picked. I mean, he hasn't really been selected much, has he?
Nah.
So I agree that I would say of the three keepers, he is my pick for the best.
That's what I've just said.
Yeah, but he seems to get played the least of the three.
Yeah, for England. Yeah. I think Arsenal, he's had a great season so far. Towards the end of last season, he was doing really well, but the results just didn't go their way. Yeah. I don't think at all his fault.
Yeah. I think, again, bar Tottenham fans, he's probably someone who you could take a shining towards. He's a
bit more personality.
Personality for sure. He's open and honest. Like he does get himself out there to be on, podcasts or a bit of content where he is like an honest and refreshing person.
Seems down to earth.
Which does maybe feed a bit of bias towards then liking him and thinking. As I say, for me personally, I think he is the best of the three of them. However, the proof's in the pudding that he doesn't get picked enough. So I would be inclined to put him in that decent bracket just because it seems like you ask 10 people and they're going to give you a different answer to who's best.
Yeah, I think if England start their next game and any of those three keepers are picked, I've really got no issue with that. Like, it feels like what you just said is, if we've got the other two in decent, he kind of goes there too.
Yep.
And he maybe is the one. The elite's probably too generous for him at this moment.
Yeah, it's probably just that next level up.
Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that.
Again, I'm probably giving Pickford.
So that's all England players there, except for...
Just a reminder that Ivan Toney
is Eric Dyer.
Yeah, he's Eric Dyer. As Ivan Toney was in this selection criteria, Eric Dyer
thanks to the man who made this for us.
Yeah, appreciate that, guys.
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
So we've kind of gone about ranking all of the England squad for the 2022 Qatar World Cup into their individual categories. I'm sure, no doubt, there's been people screaming at the TV, the screen, the phone, whatever it is. You've got this one wrong, so make sure you drop those in the comments down below. We're desperate to get some feedback on that one.
Tell us who you think should be in a different category. Happy to hear your thoughts, happy for you to engage in that conversation. Let us know why we're right, why we're wrong. I mean, there's a lot of debate and reasons why we've done it. Be keen to hear your thoughts.
Cool. Thanks for that, Ant. Good fun.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks for watching Red Mate. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.